Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Cornelia. If you're new here, I'm happy to have you here. I make videos about living the life of an entrepreneur, building a candle business, running a Airbnb real estate investment, and just everyday lifestyle vlogs because I'm a sucker for lifestyle content. I live in Calgary, Alberta, and I also spend a lot of time in British Columbia where I have a cottage. This is where I am right now. This video is actually a part two, not really an official part two, but it's a follow-up to a video I posted, I think in January, of how much money I made in my first 6 months of business as a new candle company. So I started my candle company, North Star Candle Co., last June 2023, and then I did like a deep dive into my finances for the first 6 months of having a business. And now I want to do just a follow up with the second 6 months and kind of show you like the full scope of a year with my expenses and my income. So if you haven't watched the first video, maybe go and do that first or save it to your watch later playlist. I've linked it here. I'm going to link it below as well. And that'll tell you June to December of 2023. So I'll kind of just do a roundup really quickly now of that video of like my ending numbers, and then I'll dive into this second half. So January to June, I might even do July, just so you can see, of 2024. All right, let's not waste any time. Okay, so to just show you, I'm screen recording right now. Unfortunately, I don't want to show you my whole income because this chart has everything. So I'm just like cropping it so you can only see my candles. So it's very, very small, but whatever, it is what it is. I'll just read out the numbers and put them on the screen. But basically, in 2023, I brought in $9,794.41 total from June to December of 2023. That's how much I made in my candle business. Okay, and then my expenses, I have more to share here because there was different categories, so you can actually see this a little bit better. But my total expenses for the year were $12,551.46. Off the top of my head, it's like around a $3,000 difference where I'm in the red. I'll do the exact math and put it on the screen right now. But basically I only brought in like 9,000 something and I spent 12,000 and a half. So I was in the red, but I kind of expected that for year one, not even year one. Like my technical year one would be June 2024. So let's now dive into, okay, how much have I spent the first 6 months of 2024 and see if I've evened out yet. So that will be interesting. Okay, I'll start with the expenses just because that's a little bit more interesting and a little bit more to talk about. So in January, I spent $1,774.47 on candle expenses, the highest category being market fees. So in January, I learned you sign up for most of your markets for the year, not your Christmas ones, but basically anything from January to September, you're signing up for in January. So I did spend quite a lot of money. That was a bit tough because I had made a good chunk of money in December and then everything just had to go to like out the window again. So that was really hard. And then I had to spend some money for like candle making supplies. That was like my second biggest thing at $386.24, and that would be probably launching my January, or that cost would have been a lot of my like launch of my Valentine's Day stuff. So I thought January would be super, super quiet and I wouldn't be spending anything, but I prepped for the year and I had to prep for the launch of Valentine's Day. February was also a really big output of money, $1,892.54, because I bought 200 new vessels of my signature line, and because they're coming from overseas and I buy from like a business to business platform, I didn't want to only put it in 100. It made more sense to put in a lot. So I actually haven't reordered from them yet this year. I'm curious to see if it'll last me through the year. A part of me wants it to, but a part of me doesn't because I obviously want to sell a lot, but it's like always a big output of money when I have to do that. That was like most of my spending for February. We move on over to March. We're at $1,771.48. So another really big output of money. And I'm trying to remember why I spent so much in March. I think I know why. Because I bought a ton of other jars, new jars for my summer launch, because I launched my summer collection kind of end of April, I think. So yeah, big spend in January for all the markets I signed up for. February was my signature line restock, and then March was my spring summer line purchase, which I got a chunk of jars from Candle Science, which I think in American I spent like $600 or something, and then obviously the exchange rate is terrible. So yeah, January, February, March were really expensive, which was a bit disappointing because I wasn't bringing in a ton of money those months because it's like people just stopped shopping from Christmas and everything. So I was like, oh my God, like I don't even have like really much of a cushion to fall back on because I was already paying off stuff from year one at the end of the year. Anyways, it starts to slow down through the spring. So April was $924.02. Again, more jars. I did a big restock on labels and then some business cards that I need to restock. And then May was $539.04, which again, more candle making supplies. So probably some more wax, some more jars, wicks. Just there's always stock up, right? Of that kind of stuff. And then advertising $42. Like everything else is quite low. It's just the actual candle making supplies. And then June was $372.37. Again, biggest cost here was my candle making supplies. I also paid my VA. I have a virtual assistant who helps me with stuff. Her name's Meg. I do the blog with her that I talk about. But if you're looking for a virtual assistant, I'll link her information down below. So that was like only $100, and then a bit of shipping. And then July, I spent $450.83, which again, more candle making supplies. It's like every month I seem to do a lot of candle making supplies, and I'm gonna go actually check my records now and see where exactly those candle making supplies were coming from. Okay, I just pulled up, I have a list of all my expenses that I just use to track my receipts for taxes, but I just looked and I was right. So February obviously was like an $1,100 order of my signature jars. March, I had to put in more supplies at Village Crafting Co., which is an Ontario-based company. Candle Science, which is my spring summer launch, that was like $750, and then more scents. Oh, sorry, my light just died. And then more scents from Hive and Honey, which is an American company that I purchased some of my signature scents from as well, and that was $155. And then April, I had to buy a bunch of like mini jars for this wedding collaboration I was doing. And then May, again, more mini jars because I was testing all these different jars for brides and stuff. And now I have a surplus of mini jars, but it's actually good because I can sell them as samples at the markets. And then yeah, June again, wax, a couple clear jars that I buy from Village Craft, and that's that. So that is kind of where the money goes. So that's a total again of $7,724.75 for the first 7 months of 2024. So to just kind of look at the cross comparison between 2023 and 2024. So if I add up $12,551.46 plus $7,724.75, I have a grand total of 13 months in business. Well, I shouldn't say that, 13 months in business, because I was buying a lot of stuff early on in 2023. So between January 2023 and July 2024, however many months that is, I have spent $20,276.21 on my candle business. That's a lot of money. Now let's dive into the income. Keep the light. If not, we're just gonna have to go without it because I gotta get back to doing a few other things. But we're gonna do income now for 2024, and then I'll do the grand total at the end. So I am going to show you here now. So January total was $762.12. I had 1 or 2 direct orders. I had an Etsy order. I had a payout from some retail stores from December that came in January. So that was $568. That was a nice chunk of money. And then February was $730.83. I made $477 at 2 markets. Not great. I was a little disappointed in Valentine's Day. It might have been the market I was doing, but I did one at a corporate building, which I didn't regret doing because it literally was only 2 hours of my time and it didn't cost me anything to do. But the one that I signed up for cost me like $200 and I only made like $300. So that just wasn't worth my day. Direct order 165 because that would have been for like Valentine's Day scents. I did a collaboration with my friend Meg who sells dried flowers. Etsy, another 88 bucks, and that was it. March was great. I made $1,266.72, so I made 370 at a market, 370.91. So I did a little modern market in Calgary. That was pretty good. $90 direct order. Oh, and I had a company collaboration for $553.47. I actually think it was 2 deposits, one company collaboration and one wedding deposit, which was a nice chunk of money. And then I ran a Women's Day event and I made $157.34 through just like running that event and selling candles. April, I made $500.45. Not bad. Most of that, oh, you know what? A lot of that was reimbursements. So I had a lot of broken jars come from Candle Science and they paid me back that much money. I had another chunk of money come in, I think from like a business collaboration / wedding deposit. And then, so yeah, that was like a lower month. Anything over $1,000 is successful to me. So far I've only had one of those months. But then we hit May. May was a fantastic month. I did the Inglewood Night Market, which was so good, like the best market I've done since Christmas. And then I did a Mother's Day market as well, which was not great, but it's okay because Inglewood was awesome and I made good money. $365 in a direct order. I kind of forgot that I made that much direct order. I think I was sending stuff to friends and then I just knew people who wanted candles at that time of the year. I made $308 for retail income. Again, $65 in cash. And then I was also paid out the remainder of a company collaboration I was doing and another company collaboration I did. So that was $620.25. So that was pretty sweet. June slowed down again, $610.48. Again, direct order was pretty good. More money with the company collaborations and the remainder of the wedding deposit, I think. And then July, was $710.86, which direct order was $290. That was just through bringing candles back to Ontario. $63 from a retail store in BC, not very high, but she only took like 3 or 4 candles. And then $357.86 for another payout for company collaborations. And I'm gonna go check my notes because I'm trying to remember which collaboration that was. Okay, I figured it out. The reason why the July company reimbursements. Okay, I figured it out. The reason why July was so much higher at the company / weddings category is because I'm doing collaboration with a jewelry business. They paid me for candles we had made in the winter and paid me back for a jar order that I had put in. So that wasn't really profit. Some of it was profit, but a lot of it was just kind of helping pay off some of the jars that we ordered. So, I mean, I wasn't sure how the first half of the year would go, mostly because I haven't done the first half of the year as a business owner yet. Like June was only my like kickoff date last year. So I was really curious, like what months are the best? When do I want to focus my energy on candles? And I feel like now that I'm a year in, I actually genuinely really know. Anything from September to December is fantastic. Between that, nothing is like out of this world. May was a really good month, but otherwise it was nothing crazy, unfortunately. So if I add up 2023 income from candles, so that's $9,794 and where am I here? And 41 cents plus 2024. $6,831.55. I've made $16,625.96. If I minus how much I've spent, which was, what did I say, $20,276.61, I'm in the hole $3,650.65. So that's not very positive, unfortunately. It's not a huge hole. A lot of businesses are in the hole for a long time. I genuinely feel that with my fall and winter markets this year, I will get out of the hole and I will be in the green by like a decent amount of money. Purely because you have to spend so much money when you're starting a candle business and you have to sign up for all these markets in January and you have to restock at the beginning of the year. and your sales don't really start to scale until the fall. So I think lesson learned, like for me at least, as somebody who is not doing this like full time, really focus my energy on candles from September to December, and then the rest of the year, like put my energy elsewhere. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna like shut down my business or anything. I'm just not actively working on candles constantly for the first 6 months of the year, because the amount of time and energy it takes to make a lot of money is a lot, and I have other projects on the go. So I'm really looking forward. Maybe I'll do another video at the end of December where I do the second half of the year, so I could show you guys like a year and a half in what that looks like. Let me know if you'd be interested. But that's like a full year basically now. And so, and you know what, maybe it would be helpful to do the second half of 2024 for you guys, because I started spending money the first half of 2023 before I even launched. So for a full, like 2 full calendar year comparison, I think that would be really helpful. Anyways, let me know what you think. Let me know how your journey has been. You know, I see all these videos on YouTube of people making so much, like 6 figures from their candle business. And sometimes it's discouraging because I'm putting in so much time and energy and I'm still in the hole. I think once I scale my online sales, that'll be really helpful. And I think going to more markets this year in the fall will be really helpful as well. Like last year, I didn't do as many markets as I could have because I was so new. I didn't know all the markets yet, but now I have a better understanding of who's promoting when, which ones are good, which ones aren't. So I've signed up for like 5 markets in September already, and I plan to try to be really busy through October, November, and first couple weeks of December. So we're manifesting, making a lot of money. It'll be great. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of this week's video, and I'll see you next week. Bye.